So WorKIngTro is a beat that I made that I always felt was going to be a short piece and would be something that would kind of set the mood for something else. So it's just a quick, it's the most simplest beat on the record, and the bass line is using an organ that I found in the street that I heaved upstairs, and then we sampled it for the bass line part. So it's just a part of the album, but part of the process. So Eyes Open is really kind of like a big song on the album. It's probably the only song that sounds how it sounds as far as drum sounds, and it is kind of a haunting piano melody. Dun, 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 and then it's just got a kind of really simple chorus of keep your eyes open, keep your mind open, keep your ears open, blended with a little bit of jazz vocalist from DEBORAH Jordan, mixed in with grime hip hop artist OG ROOTZ, who was formerly Dirty Goodz. So it was nice to, it was part of the beginning of constructing, of being the conductor on this album. That was one of the songs where you can see, you'd never see a record with DEBORAH Jordan and OG ROOTZ and Pumpkin from France, but I pulled all those people together because the vision is what it is. Somehow, Somewhere, So Way is quite special to me because it's a beat that I made. I remember kind of coming up with it and working on it in the studio. Like, I stayed in the studio all night. Dwayne Deluxe's studio, he used to give me the keys to stay there all night, so I used to just be programming, making stuff. Made that beat, and then as far as the lyrics are concerned, to me on the album, that is the blackout record in regards to I caught the Holy Ghost with how I was feeling about rapping, and it's really important in some songs to actually wait for the right vibe to hit you for a song rather than just rap any lyrics. So with that song, every time I hear it, I'm like, this is the Holy Ghost moment for me as far as rapping. Brixton Baby is another record where I made the beat and then we developed the song, and then I had a different chorus where it didn't work, and then I waited, and then when I found the right vibe, I sat outside the BCA, Brixton Cultural Archives, for like a day, just watched what was going on in that area. And then I wanted to make a tune, because I know that a lot of young people are making tunes that are very kind of, my area is the best, don't come to my area, you know what I mean, all that sort of thing. I wanted to make a song that was a little bit more grown up, that was actually saying, I come from this place, whether it's the good, the bad of it. I want to celebrate it, because we've grown up watching Americanized celebrate the Bronx, or celebrate Brooklyn, or celebrate Harlem, or celebrate, you know, Philadelphia. And I felt like, okay, I needed to actually celebrate where I come from. And I hope people understand it rather than me suggesting that my area is better than your area. It's not. The Work of Heart song really interesting because it was one of the last songs for the album, and I met Urban Monk via MALIK, MD7, and because we went to Atlanta and everyone stayed in touch. And what I really liked about the Work of Heart record is I wanted to definitely reach out to producers outside of the regular set, because I don't try and have too many people up in my mix with my album. If it's recording for other people's stuff, but my stuff, there's got to be a connection. So all of the songs on the album, whether it's Tall Black Guy or whether it's Sensible J from Australia, and then Urban Monk, are all people that are not from London. And I wanted to reach out, so reaching out to Birmingham, reaching out to Australia, reaching out to the US, and people feeling honoured to actually be involved in the album is really important. So that's kind of Work of Heart. The vibe is a blackout record again. That's a blackout record. So this is not a game, it's a calling. That's why I write furiously in the morning while the birds cheep. I let the word leap from my mind in the mental. It was never coincidental. I'm going off. And that's kind of the vibe with the work of Heartbreaker. Because when I heard that beat, Malik said to me, man, I love this beat, but it's not for me. I don't know who it's for. And then I thought of you. And then when I heard it, I was like, thank you very much. I took that away. I sat down in a dark room for 2 days, just listening to it, seeing what it was pulling out, and then I let it speak to me, and then what you have is what we found. Marathon is a really interesting record because I waited like a year to get LASHARVU in the studio, and this song just happened to be an extra song that I was doing, and LADONNA came and she sung, and I could have had all of the girls on the song, but I didn't need them. I just needed one voice. So her voice with my voice really kind of worked, and the song was really dedicated to, without being downbeat, it was dedicated to the idea that a lot of people are feeling like I feel about depression, and about how depression is a thing that's affecting a lot of people, and you live through it and you do your job, and so people have it's a taboo subject, but a lot of people are suffering from depression in this country. And I felt like Marathon was a song where I could kind of suggest, sometimes when I wake up, I don't wish to carry on in your marathon, running around, dodging traps set by Babylon. Everybody that understands. People that don't understand shouldn't be asking questions on that one.
What about the artist that you featured on that song?
So LADONNA is the artist that features on Marathon. Right. And then that song's all me, versus verse. And Julian Siegel plays flugelhorn and baritone sax, I believe. No, he plays bass clarinet on that record. And it just, the way it moves, that's just us all working towards finding a way to make a groove move, but stay still, and have little moments where little things happen. So yeah, that song, I think the intro, there's a kind of cello in the beginning, don, 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 and then you never hear that again in the whole song. And it's just about building up layers and just making a song independent. No Place to Run features Julie Dexter, and it's probably the only record where I'm not on it as much vocally. But what I wanted with that song is when Julie actually wrote the song, I was a producer for the record, and it was something that I was just going to see if she wanted it for her record. But when she was kind of cool, you can have it, I totally loved the idea of me rapping right at the end. And rapping right at the end for me was one of those things where it's like, back in the day when I was making records, a lot of record companies would be a little bit like, no, we need you in the front, we need you to be doing this, blah, 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 this how it works. And I was like, no, it doesn't need to be that way. It actually, Julie Dexter is a star. Even though she's left here, she's gone to Atlanta, she's a star in my reckoning. And it was nice to give the star the platform and then come in at the end, because I'm the producer, so I can do what I want. If I want to rap in the beginning, if I want to rap at the end, if I want to rap in the middle, if I don't want to rap at all, it's up to me. So I made it about me, about how I wanted to put that together, and having Jason Yarde on the record as well. It's just solid. It's just a nod to jazz and to the jazz generation that are making great stuff after Courtney Pine. So the the Julian Josephs, the Jason Yardes, the Robert Mitchells. All of these people who feature on my music through the albums, I've always had a relationship with very heavy musicians from the music scene. So I try to document it so that people can check a record and then go and check that. That's my idea. The idea is you fall in love with the music, then you totally put my CD down and you go and find out who these other people are. That's what I'm hoping happens. You Gave Me is the Dear Mama record without Tupac or Tupac tomorrow. and it's me making a declaration about being a child growing up in the UK, trying to find my feet, trying not to go the bad way, but also just recognizing all of these things that my parents are doing to keep me fed, to keep me sheltered, to keep me on the right path. And it's my record, it's my way of saying, you gave me something and we gave you something. We gave you purpose, and you gave me love, attention, shelter, and discipline. And it's doing that without saying, this is my mum's record. So the record isn't just about my mum, it's about anybody understanding that, you come from a legacy or tradition, and sometimes it's good to actually paint that picture and actually, talk about this world, because if you don't talk about it, or if you don't tell your grandkids, we live in a country that won't ask you to tell your story. So I'm trying to do that via the music. Harper's Revenge is a kind of get up, bouncy record where PHILLIP Harper and Wayne Francis from United Vibrations they're playing on the record, and it's my give the drummer song, but I'm giving the percussion player song. And it's also about showing respect to the musicians and saying, okay, most rappers work from the perspective of like, you play on my music, I rap on the music, and then you leave now. I'm the star, so I'm like, actually, no, you have a verse, you have a verse. So it's a cipher, but it's between the musicians. So it's between, I'm doing my thing, and then PHILLIP's in the chorus, I don't say a word. Then Wayne Francis is in the chorus, and he has a verse. And it's just about exercising different ways of producing a record or arranging a record. And I'm not waiting for Common to do it. I'm not waiting for Mos Def to do it. I'm not waiting for Kendrick Lamar to do it. I'm doing it, and I've been doing it. And a lot of times people are like, oh, you kind of remind me of blah, blah, blah. And if you check what I've been doing on the record, some of these artists are doing what I've been doing after. So it's me really realizing that I don't need to watch what American artists are doing in order to then go and do it myself. Folks say people say is interesting. It's like, it's one of those songs that I had a vision for it when I was producing it, and I don't know where I ever really finished or got what I wanted in the mix down of it. I know what I wanted. I wanted a club party song using a particular break I won't mention, and then I chopped the sample up a certain way and did it. But hopefully it will be a song where when we do it live, people get down and party. That's what I hope. That's what I want to happen. As far as the lyrics, I'm kind of just going off. It's definitely a Holy Spirit moment of just, my kingdom for a horse, you're full of Jericho, full force. Keep it separate like divorce. It's not a full course. They told me still secret, I'm course. I'm playing around. It's having fun with the records. My thing that I wanted to do with the records is find a way on the record, in a hip hop record, to not focus on dissing another MC, but be able to rap through a whole album. And that's what I've been able to do on the record. There's never a point where I'm like, so suck at MCs or you mans can't do. I found other things you can talk about. And that's something that I haven't made a pronunciation on. Until this interview, I haven't really said that. Because I feel like if I say it, then MCs will be like, oh, but actually, I silently want to show you, look, you can do a record. You can do records where you don't curse. I might curse on this record, but you can do records where you don't necessarily aim at. Like grime music is very kind of, it's there, but it's very kind of, you man's get hurt, da da da. I found a way to rap for a whole album where I don't need to, and it's not boring. Well, the Flaws is my hint at how people feel, but they don't say it in real life. So we all know if the cameras are off and we're sitting down in a place, we can talk some real talk. But in the music industry and also in life or in your job, you can't do that. So the chorus is, I live in a world of flaws. My world is not yours, or your world is not mine, and my world is not yours. Beware of the open doors. So the idea is, you damn well know we don't live in the same world. So when a certain thing happens, some people are like, oh, but you know, we need to all live together. No, we don't live in the same world, fam. We don't live in the same world. When Stephen Lawrence dies, that means something different to me. When Madeleine McCann dies, that means something different to you. When Sama is elected, that means something different to you. That means something different to me. When Trump is in office, that means something different to you. That means something different to you. That means something different to you. It means that, you know, like, so this, people do this, we are the world. Oh, you know, we're just one color, we just all, and I'm just like, no, actually, stop that. We are all in the same world, but we're seeing a different world through our eyes. And World of Flaws is me addressing that, saying, but doing it as in it's in the chorus. Lyrically, we touch on it, but we don't. I don't want to drown people with like, oh, you know, so let's talk about this and politicians. And no, it's just like sometimes the chorus is enough. We live in the world of flaws. Your world is not mine, and my world is not yours. Beware of the open doors, meaning beware of people saying, "Hey, you can say whatever you want, and you can talk." No, you can't. It's my that's what it is. Raindrops is a fun record. Just I play off the kind of raindrops are falling on my head without doing that, without sampling that chord, and it's just a fun record. It's just a particular vibe, and I'm just enjoying myself with it. You know, every record has a little bit of difference, but what's happened in every record is we've gone and hired a harpsichord, and we played different parts of the harpsichord through nearly every song. So that you know, like when you read a jazz album or a funk album, and you look at who played what, who played the guitar, who played drums, who played bass, who played the synth, blah blah, who played the string orchestra, blah blah. I wanted that kind of thought process towards the whole album. So we did it where we chose a particular instrument that we play in different parts of different songs. So there's a harpsichord in every song we've mentioned apart from 3. The Raspberry is a posse cut with me and 2 Australian MCs, and it's produced by an Australian producer called Sensible J. And these are my people that when I'm in Australia and I'm touring or whatever, I link up with them, and it's like being family. And I just made that happen. I made that record happen. And again, I wanted to make sure that I made a nod to international hip hop happening in different places. So whether it's France or whether it's the States or whether it's Germany or whether it's the UK, I'm looking at it from a statesman's perspective, not on a marketing perspective. Oh, so you need to have this because if you have Skepta on the record, you have no. I'm having what I need on the record, and that's what it is. As the Smoke Clears, produced by a tall black guy who is, you know, is going to be probably one of the next dinners in regards to, or one of the next ninth wonders. Really, that's where he's going. He's like, you know, he's a hard-working, amazing talent. I met him in a group called The Beaten, which I started a couple of years back. Met a whole bunch of producers in that, and this is him kind of paying me back and saying, you know what, go. You know, because he got noticed in that Beaten. Charles Peterson noticed him, Jazzy Jeff noticed him, all of that from that platform. So it was nice to kind of get that return, if that makes sense. A kind of return respect's been paid back and forth. The theme of As the Smoke Clears was I took 2 films. I was going to take 3 films and I let Malik do the first verse. So the first film is Crash. The second verse is for coloured black girls, for coloured girls. And what I did is I took a scene from each film and then just rapped about it. And I did that as well because I also wanted people to realise that we're here, we can make music for films. we want to get in there. You know, we don't have the right agent, but we can make cinematic music. So As the Smoke Clears is a opportunity for people to see how cinematic a UK artist can be if employed in that way. Jazz Refreshed is a small label that is really there to push new up-and-coming young jazz acts, but coming from a really refreshing perspective about jazz. Not this kind of jazz has to be this and has to be that. They're looking at young jazz heads, knowing that young jazz heads are young hip hop heads and are young rock heads, you know, are just musicians. And Jazz Refreshed putting out this record is a great thing for me. It's a great thing for them because they've never really put an artist out that's had my level of world exposure. So it's hand in hand, us working together. Jazz Refreshed, an amazing label. I really hope to do more with them. And they have an event called Jazz Refreshed or Jazz Refest, which is incredible event. They hold that in South Bank. South Bank, you need to hold on to Jazz Refreshed because they have one of the coolest things that you have on your roster. And Jazz Refreshed are just a group of people that are absolutely solidly behind progressive music, about music progressing beyond just what radio will play. They're really pushing young musicians to get noticed. So DEBORAH Garcia, Sheila Maurice Gray, Shabaka Hutchins, all of these people that are breaking through have been supported by Jazz Refreshed. So you're seeing people break through that will eventually be the new Courtney Pines, and Jazz Refreshed have actually been the nursery, secondary school, and youth centre for these people breaking through. So that's what Jazz Refreshed is. What's up, people? This is TY, and you've just heard the liner notes for the work of art for the VisionBombing website.